Is the farmers' protest likely to escalate further and even spread past Punjab and Haryana? To answer that question, we have to understand what happened yesterday. After pausing for 2 days, the farmers began marching to Delhi after a fourth round of talks with central government ministers failed to reach any conclusion. The Haryana police used tear gas to disperse the crowd. One young protester, 22-year-old Subhankar Singh, was injured and then died at the border of Haryana and Punjab, allegedly due to a head injury. Now, the media has quoted the medical superintendent of the Government Medical College in Patiala, who has confirmed, and I'm quoting, that he was already dead when he was brought to the hospital around 3 p.m. He suffered bullet injuries to his head. Of course, more details are awaited from the postmortem, but this is what we know so far. Farmer leaders then held a press conference in which they alleged that the Haryana police actually dressed in plain clothes and mixed among the crowd and began firing tear gas at the farmers from within the crowd. They also said more than 100 farmers reportedly were injured and more than 5 others were hit by bullets. Now, there are several accounts on X or Twitter that actually claim that the police was using pellet guns and injured many farmers in their face and their eyes. They allege also that the police in plain clothes were screaming slogans of Jai Shri Ram or Jai Mata Di in order to instigate the younger protesters. The farmers at that press conference also said that there were some older farmers who were resting or sleeping in the tractor trailers. They were actually dragged out of their trailers by the police into the fields where they were beaten mercilessly and dumped in the fields. In that press conference, one of them said that there was one farmer whose legs were broken by the police. The Haryana police has a completely different account. At 3:30 yesterday, the Haryana police actually put out a tweet that said that the report of the death was a rumor. It was not true. Only one protester was injured and he was receiving treatment. At 6 o'clock, in another tweet, the Haryana police actually claimed that at least 12 police personnel were injured after protesting farmers sprayed chili powder in the stubble and set it on fire like a smoke screen. They also said that the cops had been attacked with sticks and mace and stones. The police, as of this afternoon, have not acknowledged the death of that young farmer. Now, as a result, the march to Delhi has paused again. In response to the death, the farmer leaders have put their march on hold until Friday. Thousands of farmers will now remain camped on the borders between Punjab and Haryana at the 2 points where they are right now in a sit-in protest demanding MSP or minimum support price. And I'll get to what that demand is about in a bit. Now, this was not the only death. There was one more death earlier in the week. 79-year-old farmer had a heart attack at Shambu border on February 16th, and 3 police officials have been reported dead in the ongoing protests as well. Now, the government's stance on all of this, the Union Agriculture Minister Arjun Munda has urged farmers in the country to consider their interests and appeal to them to come in for another round of discussion. The government has always said that it is coming in with an open mind and it wants to be able to find a solution. Now, the minister has also expressed confidence to the farmers that a solution will be found through negotiation. But the two sides have already had 4 rounds of conversation and there have not been any sort of breakthrough. The centre has proposed that the government agencies will buy pulses, maize, cotton at MSP for the next 5 years, but the farmers have rejected that, saying they want a legal guarantee for MSP, which is part of the law, it's part of the promise that the government has made them, but it has not been delivered. Now, the other major angle that has also emerged here is the blocking of Twitter or X accounts. Now, the social media platform X has said that the Indian government issued executive orders to take action against specific accounts and posts related to the farmer protest. Now, this is the platform statement. It said, in compliance with the orders, we will withhold these accounts and posts in India alone. However, we disagree with these actions and maintain that freedom of expression should extend to these posts. End quote. The centre has apparently ordered that 177 accounts on Twitter be temporarily blocked. This is according to the newspaper The Hindu. As a result of all of this, what's happening? First of all, the Sikh community, according to many reports and commentators, is deeply hurt with the Khalistani allegation. Remember, yesterday we talked about how one police officer in West Bengal was called Khalistani when he was on the ground in Sandeshkhali, and he took offense to that. And apparently, that is something everybody is really upset about, because again, these farmers are being called rich and spoiled and anti-national and Khalistani, and this is something the entire community right now is upset with. Farmers are angry with the use of force and the manner in which the government has reacted to this protest by putting up those nails and spikes and using drones to actually fire tear gas on them. There is this general view among the farmers of Punjab that the treatment doesn't feel like this is our own government we're talking to, or this is our own police and establishment we're talking to. It feels like they are disowning or treating them like somebody else's farmers, and this is causing sort of a stir of emotion across farmers from other states as well. For example, the Punjab Haryana High Court Bar Association has condemned the youth's death, the young man's death during the protest, and will abstain from working tomorrow. So these are the lawyers in Punjab and Haryana. In Haryana, farmers are now sitting on railway tracks at Mustafabad railway station and doing a rail roko. So this is now spreading to those two checkpoints that we were talking about. And there is a large chance that this will escalate past Punjab as well, because of the death of this one young man is causing a lot of emotion. I did say I would come back to minimum support price, or MSP, which is the main demand here. It requires a much larger breakdown and explanation because there's a lot of information about it, a lot of fake news about it as well. So leave me a comment if you want a deeper explanation about MSP and its impact, and the legal guarantee and the impact on our economy. But let me just give you a quick few breakpoints as to why this is an important thing. Now, MSP is minimum support price. It's a legal guarantee really that the farmers are asking for. And it's needed, and I'm going to give you the short answer. It's needed because the government actually has the ability to control the price of food. So let me give you this example, right? 86% of the farmers in our country, 86%, have less than 5 acres of land, which means they're growing small portions of food. So they don't have scale. Now, when they have small portions of food and they only have the ability to take it to the nearest market. Now, imagine as a farmer, if there's good weather, you have a good year, you have a bumper crop, you take it to the market, everybody's had a bumper crop, the price falls because there's a glut in the market and you're not able to recover what you invested on a good year. When there is less of supply in the market and the price suddenly shoots up, the government has a problem of the fact that the food price has gone up and people can't afford the food. So in order to control the price of food, they actually block exports. And that causes a glut in the domestic market and the prices fall again. So it's not purely a capitalistic system if the government has the ability to control the price. So what the farmers are asking for is a legal guarantee of MSP, which basically means that yes, the government already does buy up about 4 or 5 major crops because it has to use it for food distribution in ration shops. But they're saying, give us a legal guarantee, because as of now, this is how it works. Every year, the government announces MSP for 23 crops before the sowing season. But the MSP announcement is not always followed by an intervention. They'll say this is the MSP we're giving, but they don't always buy at that MSP. They only buy if they need it. And that sort of leaves the farmer hanging. Now, in practice, it's only implemented for rice, for wheat, 2 major crops, occasionally for pulses, okay, and some other crops, but not all crops. So which means that not all farmers get their benefit. But even in these cases, market intervention by government is done less in support of farmers and more in support of its own need of distributing through rations. So it takes as much as it needs. Now the farmers are demanding that the government implement MSP as the scheme was initially designed to make sure that the farmers get support. Now, there's another argument that basically this will bankrupt government, or it will result in a lot of loss for the government. But technically, if you look at how the experts have explained it, government will only have to intervene on a specific crop when the price falls below a certain level, which means not all crops, not all the time. And on good years, they will not have to intervene at all. So there is a lot of detail into this MSP problem, and we need to break it down even further. But this is to break up what the false news that's been doing the rounds, and also to point out that this is not something farmers are just showing up and demanding because they're spoiled. This is something that has been promised to them for many, many years by various governments, not just this one, previous government and then this one. And it's been written in the law. So the farmers are saying, give us what you promised, and this is what you promised to us. But it does seem for the time being that there's a severe breakdown of trust between government and the protesting farmers, that there seems to be a larger wave of emotion towards those farmers. And if the rounds of talks are not able to find a breakthrough, it's likely that this farmer protest will escalate much further and much beyond the borders of Punjab.